Good evening, TVians. My name is Nelson. I am from Nigeria. Actually, I want to say good evening to all TVians because here in Nigeria is 10:30 p.m. But in some other countries, the time might actually differ. But in all, I just want to say hello to everyone that is in this TVC community. I'm actually here to address the Billion Coin community and the world in general. It's all about TBC. TBC, like I titled this broadcast now, is the king of all coins. Why did I have to just call TBC the king of all coins? In my previous YouTube videos, I tried to mention that TBC is a blessing from above because it was inspired by God, the admin, before he introduced the coin. The introduction of the coin by admin happens to be an inspiration from God. God touched him or her, whomever it is, to introduce this coin because the person felt what the masses are suffering in the hands of the elites. The person felt the poverty, the hunger and starvation so many persons are going through throughout the whole world today. And the person decided to introduce this coin called the Billion Coin. God gave admin the inspiration. Before I went into this coin, I was some kind of skeptical. I didn't believe it because I was involved in so many coins, so many cryptocurrency coins that were coming out. And believe you me, I was actually a victim because most of them failed me. Most of the sites crashed and then they ate people's money and closed down the site. And when TBC came into existence and a friend told me about it, I did not go into it as soon as I heard it. I hesitated. But after a long while, I decided to go into it and see what the coin is talking about. When I realized that the concept of TBC was quite different from the concept of these other coins, I now decided to go into it. TBC happens to be an abundance-based coin. It is not in the coin market cap because the coins in the coin market cap are the coins controlled by the elites. There are a lot of manipulations in the system. And so the conception of TBC, the idea that the admin conceived, was to create a separate coin that the government or the elites cannot have control over. TBC grows by the day according to the members that are coming in on a daily basis. The price of TBC never goes down. And none of the elites or the government has authority over the coin. You are the owner of your coin. You control it by yourself. No matter whatever quantity you have, you are in charge. You are the manager of your own, as long as you are a TBC holder. And so that is the way it is. So many persons did not understand it that way. But when I had a good understanding of it, I decided to go into it. I'm actually a Christian. I don't honestly just put my hands in things I do not know. But I really understood the concept of this coin, and I decided to go into it. And when I look at the way it's going, the way it's being structured, the organization, and the way it's developing by the day, I really knew that very soon, DBC will become the king of all coins. As a Christian, I try to make a reference from what I read from the Bible about one young boy that has a vision. He had a dream. And this story is derived or extracted from the book of Genesis 37. Most of the Christians will know very well about this story. I am relating this story to TBC because of the way the admin conceived it and introduced it. This young man called Joseph is a young man that had a dream and explained the dream he had to his brothers. He told them that he was in a dream where they were abandoning sheep. And in that dream, while him and his brothers were abandoning the sheep in the field, his own sheep stood up, while that of his brothers rounded his own and began to worship, to bow down before his own. This young man does not have anything, there was no mixed feelings. He does not have any different thing in mind. He was just free to explain himself to his brothers. And his brothers became angry and said, "Do you now mean that we, all your brothers, will now begin to bow down before you? Why do you have to explain this kind of dream to us? Does it mean you are bigger than us, or you will be bigger than us, that you'll be in a position where we now begin to bow down for you and worship you?" But this man just told them, this young man told them that he was only explaining the dream he had. And because of this explanation, people began to hate him. The brothers began to hate him. After some time too, he came up again and said, and told his brothers, "Look, I had another dream. And in my dream, I saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing down for him." And this made his brothers to be very angry the more. And the young man, since he doesn't have anything in mind, he was only trying to express his feelings, his dreams. He now told the dream to his father. And the father was angry and said, "Do you mean my mother and myself and your mother and your brothers, all of us will begin to worship you and bow down before you?" And this dream generated a very big problem between Joseph and his brothers, and they hated him big time. And so a day came when the father sent him to go and check on his brothers while they were trying to take care of the sheep. And when they saw this young man, they bargained. They planned on how to kill him. So on the process, so many suggestions came, and they decided to put him into a pit instead of killing him outrightly. While they threw him into a pit, and they were eating somewhere, they saw some people coming and decided to sell Joseph to those persons. What must be, must be. What God has instituted, nobody can cancel it. TBC has come to stay because it was initiated or it was introduced by God through the admin. And so all the plans they had against this young man, they decided to sell him, and they sold him to Egypt. But because God had made him a leader, God had made me to be somebody that will be a leader, that other people will come to worship. His dreams did not die. And so when they sold him to Egypt, because of one thing or the other, he was thrown into prison, even though he was innocent. To make the story short, I don't want to talk all about the story too wide. Joseph was thrown into a prison because of what he did not do. No matter how people are trying to hide the idea of this TBC, no matter how people are trying to say one bad thing or the other about this TBC, because it is a coin that God has introduced through somebody, the light of TBC will continue to shine. Because this young man was thrown into prison, his visions, his dreams, and aspirations did not stop there. Because it is somebody whom God have used to make a way where there is no way. The king had a dream whereby no one was able to explain the dream to him. And because this young man, while he was in the prison, two persons had dreams which they were afraid of. And so he explained the dream to them. So while the king of Egypt had the dream, they now referred him to Joseph and said, we have somebody in the prison that can explain this dream. And he was called upon. And Joseph gave them a clear explanation of the dream about famine and about 7 years of plenty food and about 7 years of famine. And he went as far as advising them that 7 days of plenty, they will have to use it to gather so much food for the people, so that when the 7 years of famine will come, then the people will not lack. And after the explanation of the dream, the king was so satisfied with Joseph's explanation. And he asked Joseph, what are we supposed to do? Joseph said, we are supposed to use these 7 years to gather so much food for the people, so that when the famine comes, we will not lack. And because of that explanation of the dream, the king gave Joseph the authority. So he made him a leader, a governor over the people. And Joseph used the people and used that 7 years of plenty to gather so much wealth for the people, so much food. Excuse me. And then the 7 years of famine came. There was plenty food for the people. Many people were coming there to buy food. Anybody that wants to buy food, the king was directing them to Joseph, because has empowered him to be a governor over the warehouse. And that was how other people from other places were coming to buy food. So as the story goes, which I said I want to make it short, it happens that the people that sold Joseph to the land of Egypt, being his brothers, came to buy food from them. It was then that Joseph discovered somehow that those people are his brothers that sold him. And after all explanation, because the story was so long, Joseph made himself known to the brother that he is the Joseph that they sold. And they bowed down before him. And Joseph gave them food to take back home. So what I'm saying in essence is that it does not really matter what people are saying about the billion coin. TBC has come to stay. No matter how people are calling TBC a scam, TBC has never been a scam and will not be a scam. So many persons are making a lot of money from TBC worldwide. So many people are enjoying the benefit of TBC today. Even in Nigeria, where I came from, TBC is making waves. TBC is shaking the country right now as I'm speaking with you. So many people are here doing so many things. A young man has come up to say excuse me, I am going to make a store, and the young man's name is Faruna Marvelous. And in that store, that he is going to sell TVC 100%. Whatsoever you buy from that shop, you will pay 100% TVC. It's so awesome. You need to come and see that this young man is shaking Nigeria. The way he's promoting TVC in collaboration with one lady, a Nigerian that stays in South Africa, Victorious Flourish. She's also so wonderful. She's been so wonderful and hot in promoting TVC. And so I want to let the whole world know that TVC has come to stay, that TVC is a reality. There's no hidden agenda in TVC. We that are into the system, what are we doing to make sure that we get where we are going to? We have gone far in the journey, and very soon we'll get there. So this is a very ample opportunity for us to join hands together as a community, as one body, as a family, to make sure that other people who are not aware of this TVC will get to know about it. This is the time we are supposed to put heads together. I'm just surprised that some persons, even in the community, are discouraging some other persons into the system. But that does not make any meaning, because TVC has gone beyond that. Excuse me. And so that's the way it is. And for those that are not members of this community yet, I don't know what you are waiting for, because it's quite obvious that TVC has come to stay. The way TVC is making waves in Nigeria today is also the way TVC is making waves in some other countries. For example, in Philippines, where the group of persons, how many tribes have decided to use TVC as their own currency. They are tired of the way the elites are manipulating the whole system. And so they want to be on their own. That is the vision of TVC. To get away from the hands of the elites, to make sure that the elites do not have any authority over you as a holder of TVC. I don't know how to thank the admin enough for introducing this coin, because he felt what people were passing through. He felt the pains and the suffering and the sorrow of so many persons. Unemployment is on the high rate, on the increase. No job for the youths, no empowerment. So the concept of TVC is a wealth that will lead you to your future generation. So why are you wasting time to come into the community? I happened to introduce TVC to a friend. How can one be afraid of poverty and also be afraid of success? I mean, it's so funny. I introduced him to this system. And after explaining everything to him, he said he wants to register. I should register him. I opened my system to register him. He saw the image of Santa Claus. In Nigeria, where we call it Father Christmas. And he said he was scared that the image of Santa Claus, he does not know what it means. I was so surprised. I said, okay, now I want to give you time. Go to TVC blogs. That is where you get more information of everything I'm explaining to you. TVC is a pure and clean coin. Not put my hand into it. He regretted it because later I was calling me that he wants to register. So what I'm saying in essence is that TVC has come to stay. TVC have also given people opportunity to know places and to make wealth. So many persons have acquired land, cars with TVC 100%. And so this broadcast, I want to urge each and every one of us to come together and make sure that TVC is a reality. TVC has come to stay. TVC has become the king of all coins, because I've never seen any of these coins that is as structured as this TVC. If money comes in the common market cap today, are no longer functioning, they are dormant. They are no longer appreciating. They are rather reducing, depreciating in value. So TBC is a coin that has come to eradicate poverty globally. And we are supposed to embrace it and make sure that we get to our destination. Because of time, I want to stop so far. I want to thank the community. I want to thank the admin. I want to thank the leaders worldwide that are working tirelessly to make sure that TBC gets to the place we want it to go. May God continue to put the community together in one accord so that very soon we shall reach our targets. Thank you, and God bless all.